What's up, everyone? Welcome into another edition of the Why Am I a Mets Fan podcast. That's Ashley Wenskoski. I'm Samantha Croston, and we are two Syracuse-based sports reporters. Sorry, we're a little bit on the later side. It is 1:28 in the morning, and the reason that we're late is because we had our actual jobs, Friday Night Lights, high school football. No, Syracuse football, actually. We're doing all kinds of football these days, and that's why we're late, but we're here.
Let's just say, I really wouldn't recommend anybody who wants to watch a positive brand of football. I had to spend my night at the Syracuse, North Carolina game. Just disgusting all around. I will say, fun tidbit from that is sort of on topic. I look up and Aaron Boone's just sitting in the first row, manager of the New York
No,
Yankees. So that was an interesting sighting. Apparently a noted North Carolina fan.
how about that? We're joining you after, wait, I can't even get this off my mind. I'm still thinking like 6 hours ago, Ashley was like doing live shots for our station.
You
She was
guys.
like in the rain. Like I'm watching on TV. There's like, it's like dripping. Was that today?
The things I have gone through in the last 6 hours to now be sitting here talking about Game 6 of the World Series. In case anybody was wondering, on live TV tonight in Syracuse, New York, there's remnants of a hurricane. I'm out there, my hair is going in five directions. It's so windy that the camera nearly falls, and the photographer has to catch it during the live shot. We've fought a few battles today. I wouldn't say we've come out on top, but we've survived them.
I
So
would say, yeah, I mean, at one point, Ashley sent me a text that I thought was really inspiring, saying, I don't even know what battles I'm fighting right now, but I'm going to try and win them. And that's essentially what the Dodgers did tonight. We're joining you after a 3-1 victory by the Los Angeles Dodgers, World Series, Game 6, and the series is tied up 3-3, like it was always meant to be. Come on.
you knew this series was going to game seven. Honestly, you can take this whatever way you want. Blue Jays fans aren't going to like that I'm saying this, but this series deserves to go game seven. And I think we all felt that way. Obviously, the Dodgers show why they're the Dodgers. You knew the Dodgers weren't going to go down without a fight. Not with Yamamoto on the mound, and not with a couple guys in that lineup, Mookie Betts chief among them, remembering who they are. Mookie Betts, remember that he's Mookie Betts tonight.
Well, no doubt about it. I mean, from the wild ending to what we had in the third inning, this was a very, very interesting matchup. So a couple of things that I wanted to note. The scoring in this game I thought was pretty interesting. You're talking about in the top of the third, the Dodgers get all of their runs, and then in the bottom of the third, um, the Blue Jays get one run, and that was it.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think that obviously, like I said, Betts had the RBI. You saw Springer come in and play a significant role for the Blue Jays, which just shout out to George Springer for even getting in that lineup. I did say that a couple days ago that going back to Toronto and having the off day would be positive for him and that he could make a return from the injury. And we saw him do that, which is crazy. But I want to talk about Yamamoto for a minute because, I mean,
Please.
what is there to not talk about there? Another great start tonight. Not quite as dominant as the first one, but I mean, how can you even say that? It's like apples to apples, right? 15 innings pitched now in the World Series. He's only given up two earned runs, a 120 ERA. The Blue Jays are hitting like 173 against him. It's just crazy stuff. He has 14 strikeouts to one walk in those two starts. We are enjoying really, really dominant pitching from two aces on both teams here, right? We saw Trey Savage do great stuff for the Blue Jays. You're seeing Yamamoto take that role for the Dodgers. Big Poppy, by the way, tonight said on the
Hmm.
post-game show, it was brought to my attention that he said, quote, if the Dodgers win the World Series tomorrow, Yamamoto is my MVP. I would like to
Wow.
know your thoughts on that. I would like to know all of our Dodgers fans' thoughts on that. I mean, I certainly could see it. I said Trey Savage maybe should be the MVP if the Blue Jays win, although I know it'll probably be Vlad. But I mean, this is a guy, he got up there tonight at the podium and said he'd be ready to pitch in game seven tomorrow if needed. Like, what do you mean?
No, it's crazy. I mean, the things that he's done, and to your point, I know what you mean, like compared to some of his other starts. Tonight, he went 6 innings pitched, 5 hits, one earned run, 6 strikeouts, and one walk. But it was enough, right? And it was enough, I might add, against starting pitching that was good on the other side. Kevin Gossman tonight, 6 inning pitch, 3 hits, 3 earned runs, 8 strikeouts, 2 walks. I mean, honestly, the Blue Jays and their pitching did a great job as well. And somehow, some way, still on the road, the Dodgers were able to pull this out. As far as Yamamoto, I mean, do I think that there would be a case for it? Yeah. I mean, even from an attitude standpoint alone, right? The amount of, just the hustle, the heart, the things he's been volunteering to do. It's like you can tell that he is the epitome of a team player. Like this guy understands what the word team player really means. That being said, I mean, dang, you think about it's hard, right? Because I think like if you look at actual moments, obviously you're going to look at Shohei Ohtani in that extra innings game and be like, wow, that was remarkable. And it's the kinds of things that we haven't seen before. At the same time, I would say from a consistency standpoint that I mean, certainly the Dodgers wouldn't be in this place without him, without Yamamoto.
Yeah, I mean, I think you can only really make an argument. Freeman, yeah, he single-handedly won them that 18 inning game, which I don't think you can look past, but that's one moment, right? Obviously, there's game seven tomorrow night. We don't know what happened there. But yeah, I agree that the only other real candidate to me, it seems, would be Ohtani with getting on base 9 times, what he's done. But you look at what Yamamoto's done, and he's put them in a really good spot to win 2 games in this series. And I think that Trey Savage did the same thing. That's why I said on the Blue Jays side, maybe it should be Savage. So it's just an interesting, I think, debate to have as we head into game seven. But beyond the starting pitching tonight, the Dodgers also got some really good stuff out of their bullpen, dare I say it.
I mean, listen, at some point, I'm not saying clearly the Dodgers aren't the kind of team that need that every night, or else they wouldn't be here. But like you needed a night like that. We needed to see some signs of life. Dare I say you need 2 nights like that? Because you might need it tomorrow. But I feel like tomorrow it's like, who the hell knows what pitchers will be in? Like game seven, all bets are off, in my opinion. It's like whoever
No,
feels
yeah.
ready and available and is your best option, that's who you throw in there. You know what I mean?
And
So
if
I
it's
can see,
Yamamoto, it's Yamamoto, which is
right.
crazy to say.
I know, but it's like if it's wonky and that works, then that's what the Dodgers are going to have to do. And frankly, of both the teams, you're looking at the Dodgers as a team that could end up making some wacky decisions based upon how things go down. Here's the other thing. Just wanted to shout out Kiki Hernandez. That was really a wild, wild finish to this game. It was Jimenez who lofted a liner. Looked like it had a chance to drop, but it stayed up. Kiki Hernandez closed in on it, fire this ball to second base. Addison Barger was caught too far off, couldn't dive back in time. And again, Ashley at this point is like in the Syracuse football press conference. I'm working at the studio, but both of us are looking in the ninth inning, seeing that there are men on base in the ninth inning. Like the Blue Jays had a chance to win this. What a gut wrenching, but also awesome play based on what side of the ball you're on, right?
No, I was tracking it on my phone the whole time, and I obviously saw the Dodgers were winning. They were heading into the ninth, the whole 9 yards. And then somebody in the press conference looks over at me and they go, "The Blue Jays have second and third right now." And I was like, "Oh my God, the Blue Jays could walk off the World Series right now as we're speaking." Like how insane, because obviously they had been losing the entire game. Yeah, I don't think, I mean, sure, you could look at that and say it's Barger's fault, but I don't think you can really say that was Barger's fault. It was such a kind of freak play in a way, right? I guess he could have been smarter about it, but I don't know. It just all happened like so fast. Um, but then going back to the Dodgers for a minute, it was Glass now that came in and escaped that little jam there that we're discussing in the ninth inning, and he did it on 3 pitches. Now, I just said the Dodgers bullpen provided them with some good stuff tonight. They did. I believe it's Robleski. Don't know totally how to say that name. And then Roki Sasaki came in and was doing well prior to that jam in the ninth, right? They combined for 6 outs leading up to Glass now. But Glass now came in there. He was cool, calm, and collected. 3 pitches. You're out of there. We'll see you in game seven. A game seven that, by the way, he was supposed to maybe start.
Well, correct. And so here's the thing. I like just because you brought that up, I figure we may as well talk about it. I see an article from 51 minutes ago from MLB that says Ohtani to start game seven for Dodgers on mound, in parentheses, reports. So those are reports. I mean, it's funny because when you talked about the whole like, oh, who's going to win the MVP award? It depends on what happens tomorrow if he really is starting, you know what I mean?
Well, and they asked Dave Roberts in the post-game press conference, I see, about what he's going to do with the pitching since he did use Glass now tonight, albeit for 3 pitches, right? It's not like the guy was out there for, yes, he warms up, and I understand that, but it's not like he threw his arm out tonight, okay? Um, but Roberts said on the situation, he said, quote, "I think right now there's no wrong answer on Glass now. He's certainly going to be a part of the pitching plan. And with Shohei, it could be 2 innings, but it could be 4 innings. So I'm not sure where we're going to slot him. We're going to have to talk to him first on where he feels most comfortable. And that was kind of referencing Ohtani could possibly be used as sort of an opener, right? So he's starting the game, but then you see Glass now get some innings there in sort of like middle long relief, from the third, fourth inning on. I don't know. It'll be interesting, right? Because you said it. It's game seven. You use all your bullets. You use the best available, and that's it, right?
100%. Here's also something interesting. On the other side, Max Scherzer is about to become the only living pitcher to start a winner-take-all World Series Game 7 for a second time. This is just the coolest series ever. I
Yeah.
mean, even that, I wonder if you're a Blue Jays fan, how you feel about Max Scherzer. There have been times in the playoffs where he has been nails. He's also really old. I think that's really kind of interesting. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think that's a really cool stat. Obviously, I mean, we've talked enough about Scherzer, right? Three Cy Youngs, gonna be a surefire Hall of Famer, still out there, and I believe he's like 41, spent time with the Mets. But yeah, he started that game seven in 2019 when the Nationals won the title over Houston. I think that's really cool that he's the only guy to ever do it twice. Um, I mean, I think if you're the Blue Jays, obviously you wish that it was maybe Savage on the mound, but on that short of rest, I don't think that can happen. Maybe you can use him though in some capacity, like we were talking about the long relief situation with the Dodgers. Maybe if you're the Blue Jays, you can find a role for you Savage in those middle innings.
And listen, maybe Scherzer comes out and he's awesome. I guess the one good thing, if you're thinking about it from a different perspective, like how rare is it? Well, I guess it's just him, Like how rare is it though that you would get to have a pitcher who's been in that high pressure of a situation? I know that you
Yeah.
said the other day, and I thought this was a really good point, that like something that's been working for you, Savage, is that, you said like this really stuck with me. You were like, there are some guys who spend their entire lives working for this moment. And Savage, it's like he's brand new. So he doesn't really have time to think about it and think about legacy and what that means. To me, Scherzer is almost like on the other end of all of that. It's like, well, he's already done this once, not to downplay the moment, but if anything, he's had plenty of time to think about his legacy and what he would want a moment like this to look like. And I don't know, I just feel like there could be an advantage in having been in such a high pressure situation once before.
Yeah, I think it'll be interesting to see how it plays out. I think you can look at that both ways for Scherzer. It could also play totally to his advantage. He's been here before, he's done this before, he's won a World Series before. So, um, I don't know. I think, right, tomorrow's just, it's like you want to sit here and say what are like the keys to winning tomorrow for both teams, but game seven of any series, let alone a fantastic World Series between two great teams like this, game seven, like I hate to say it, is such a just crapshoot, right? Like you don't know. It's game seven. Anything could happen. Both teams are playing their best players. Um, I mean, obviously, if you're the Dodgers, I think you look at what happened tonight. I wouldn't even say offensively, like the lineup exploded or anything tonight. It just did enough, and you happen to have Yamamoto starting. If you're the Dodgers, you go back to what you've been saying all series long, right? Which is that Mookie Betts needs to hit, Ohtani needs to hit, Freddie Freeman needs to hit. The top of that order needs to kind of pull their weight, especially against a guy like Scherzer. On the other side, if you're the Blue Jays, you kind of have the same problem. We talk about this Blue Jays offense and this Blue Jays lineup, which we've seen multiple times throughout this series. But then you have a night like tonight where they score one run.
All right, game 7 tomorrow. There's going to be a winner that's going to be crowned. It's either going to be the Dodgers, who are repeat champions, or the Blue Jays, who have been waiting for this moment for over 30 years. What do you think is going to happen? And do you have any final thoughts about this big, exciting day upcoming?
I mean, we both predicted that the Dodgers were going to win this series. I still feel that way, but it's really a hard call because the Blue Jays have been, like you kept saying the word hungry. And I hate to say that the Blue Jays are hungrier, but of course they are. It's been 30 years, right? They're playing for the entire country of Canada. They have so many people behind them. And the Dodgers just won last year. And I don't say that to downplay it for the Dodgers. It's still really special what they're trying to do to repeat. But I guess I'm sticking with the Dodgers, but I don't
You
know.
seem hesitant.
I am hesitant. Like I hate to say it, I am hesitant, right? Are the Blue Jays really going to lose two straight in Toronto after all this? Did they come this far just to come this far? I said it after game 5. Game 5. I said if the Blue Jays lose this World Series, they have nobody to blame but the Blue Jays. And you know what? I triple down on that right now because of what I just said. If you lose two straight in Toronto, if you lose with Max Scherzer on the mound, and if you lose after scoring one run tonight and knowing what's at stake, then that's your fault.
I
So honestly,
completely agree.
a part of me really does think maybe the Blue Jays are going to win tomorrow. I'm really 50-50. I know
Esther's
Sonia
having a
is.
hard time making up her mind. I felt the same way as you. Honestly, all of a sudden today, just because of how back and forth this series has been, and because I'm sure because it's in Toronto, it's just like it feels like the Dodgers would be going against so much to win two in a row here, you know? But Toronto did that once, right? So I don't know. I feel the same way as you. I feel a little split. And I like genuinely do hate to say this, knowing what our audience primarily consists of, Dodgers fans. This is nothing against you, but I have to speak my truth. Hopefully, for those fans' sake, I'm wrong. I feel like the Toronto Blue Jays are going to win the World Series tomorrow. It's just a
I,
feeling. Because at
I've
this,
had
you
a
know,
nagging, like as this series
it's
has gone
gnawing.
on, you've start to felt that way, right? How could you not? I think just by I don't know, just by how hungry they've been, how much they've wanted it. But then you do see a night like tonight, and you're like, I don't know. So I guess what all I have left to say is that what I said about the Blue Jays, if they lose, the only people they have to blame but themselves. The Dodgers is sort of the flip side of that coin. If the Dodgers win, I think the whole back-to-back repeating legacy situation gets 20 times better because they've really dug themselves out of a hole. It's so improbable to go on the road for game 6 and 7 and win both of them and come out on top. So I guess just what I'm saying is that's kind of a dual-ended coin, right?
And then you have Shohei Ohtani. If he really is on the mound, why do I feel like that's inevitable? I don't know. Good luck to both teams. I just hope everybody has fun.
Literally.
Tomorrow we'll kind of let you guys know maybe on social media what our plan is. I do want to alert people ahead of time. Ashley will not be here tomorrow. We
So
are trying to have an
sorry.
episode anyway, and then we will obviously also talk about it, but it could be intern Dan. We're not sure, but just be posted and we will try and let you know when we're going to be on.
We'll be back quickly though. I can't, I'm unavailable tomorrow night and I'm so sorry to say that. Was hoping it didn't go to a game 7 for that purpose. But we will hopefully have something from Dan tomorrow night. Or also I will give my thoughts very, very shortly, very quickly thereafter.
Her thoughts are coming. This has been the Why My Mets fan podcast. Thank you so much, as always, for your support this entire time. We really appreciate it. Be sure to like, comment, and most importantly, subscribe. It really helps us out when you do that. We'll see you when the next big thing happens, but you all know when that is.
Good
Thanks so
luck.
much for joining us, and good luck to both teams.